How is it going, everyone? It is ZLR, and today we're going to be doing our Week 3 recap for the UFL season. And honestly, this one was a very, very nice week. We saw a complete blowout. We saw two pretty close games, and we're gonna get into that very shortly. But before we get into that, I do just want to let you guys know the recording is gonna probably be a little bit weird. Um, Obviously, this little intro is actually gonna be right before I go into work, but you will probably see a couple sections of this video of like me while I'm on my break, so you'll probably see me in my work clothes. But it's just the way I'm gonna have to record this. I do want to try to get it out on Monday night, which is actually tonight when I'm recording this. So I'm gonna try my best to do things as quick as possible while I'm on my break at work. But if not, then I'll try to record a little bit right after I'm out. But anyway, let's just get right into this. The Storm and the Kings. The Storm winning in overtime 29 to 27, and they won in overtime only because the defense for the Kings actually suffered two defensive penalties, and because of that, the second time that they actually got the penalty, they actually counted that 2 point conversion. So that was the reason why the Storm actually won that game. But a very, very nice game overall here. I definitely wasn't expecting it to be as close as it was. Obviously, the week before, we did see these two teams go at it, and the Storm won 19 to 9. But this time, when they go into the Kings domain, this was a different game. And honestly, I was very happy that this game was as close as it was. It it made me see that the Kings, they definitely got some fight in them. So I'm definitely very excited to see what they can do in the next few weeks. Obviously the Storm, they're just looking very well right now. I actually really like the Storm a lot. I might be a fan of them right now. Um, but man, seeing that those two overtime penalties for the Kings though, that really killed them at the end there. And I just gotta give it up to the Storm because they did not let off. They did not let off at all. They kept on fighting, and obviously, even though they didn't get the 2 point conversion because of that penalty, they technically did. So they can technically thank the refs for that one. I know a lot of people are saying that that was a stupid rule as well, but I don't know. I think that's a newer rule that came into the UFL recently, but I'm not exactly too sure. But I'm gonna have to see if this happens during the season or like anywhere else, just because like that's only the first time I've seen it happen. Gamblers and defenders. The defenders, they did exactly what they did last week to the friggin' Aviators. They beat the absolute shit out of the Gamblers. And I know in my predictions video I said that I want to see what happens in this game. I hope the Gamblers do well in this game. And they absolutely just shat the bed. And honestly, I I should have expected it. I really should have expected it, but I did not expect it, and this is what I get for it. But the defenders, they actually had a really good game themselves, as you can notice from the 45-7 score there, which is actually the highest point margin in UFL history as of right now for a game. I believe uh, yeah, it was 30, like a 38 point margin or something like that. So yeah, pretty far ahead for one team. Um, it was almost not that, but I believe the second touchdown that the Gamblers were gonna get actually went back. Uh, so instead of getting that touchdown, they actually had to try that play again, and obviously they couldn't get it. And I just really feel bad for Gamblers fans right now. I I really expected a lot more from this game from the Gamblers just because last week we actually saw them win against the Stallions. So yeah, that's just weird. I thought they were gonna do at least pretty decent because the Stallions are a pretty good team. But the Defenders, they're showing why they are the reigning UFL champions. Aviators and Renegades. Holy shit, this game was beautiful. The Renegades won 28 to 23 in a pretty close one. And honestly, I kind of like that the Aviators have scored pretty much almost the same amount of points in each game. So the first week, the Aviators scored 16. Then the second week, they scored 26. And then this week, they scored 23. So it does seem like they're being at least a little bit consistent, but they just haven't won a game yet. I want to see them win a game, but it's going to be pretty hard when you're playing up against some pretty good teams like the Defenders, Renegades, and other teams like that. But yeah, the Renegades they they have just been consistent as hell. That quarterback that they have, like I said last week, he's gonna be a scary dude, and I'm gonna have to watch him all throughout the season. I watched him this past week, and he showed out. He did what he needed to do, and honestly, I really like that team. I like that Dallas Renegades team. Um, Maybe all they needed to do was just to move out of I believe they were known as the Arlington Renegades before this season, if I'm not mistaken. I know I made 2 years worth of UFL videos before this, and I do believe uh, they were still the Renegades, but they were just from Arlington instead of Dallas. So I feel like that slight name change is definitely helping out a little bit with them because I know last year they they were pretty good, but this year they seem a lot better so far. And I definitely want to see if they can actually get into the UFL championship because this team is definitely one of my favorites to get there. And last but not least, the one game that I needed to fucking get so I could get all four games right this week. The Stallions and the Battlehawks. The Battlehawks won 34 to 30 against the Stallions, and the Stallions have have lost their second game in a row. And honestly, I don't think I've seen this happen just yet in the 3 years I've been watching the UFL. I I do believe the last time I saw them lose, they won their next game. So seeing them lose two in a row, that that's kind of weird for me. But I'm still not going to be too concerned about that just yet because I do know that they are a pretty good team. So I'm just going to say that. Also, the Battlehawks they've been looking pretty good this season so far. Obviously, they won against the Defenders week one. Then they lost to the Renegades last week. But then they came back and won against the Stallions this week. And honestly, I kind of feel like the Battlehawks are going to be a sleeper type team this season. And the Stallions, I'm not too sure what's really happening with them as of right now, but I do really hope that they get back up and going because obviously this team we do know is actually pretty damn good. So I do expect them to actually get probably better and better all throughout this season. But as of right now, they're just not really doing all that much. Obviously they're keeping their games close. That's always a very good thing. And the Battlehawks, they're getting their wins. Even if they're close, they're still getting their wins, and that's all that fucking matters. But anyway, I am going to get out of here. So I hope you guys like, subscribe, comment, do really whatever you want to do. You can also donate to the channel if you really want to. There will be a link in the description so you guys can click on that if you want to. Sorry about that burp. But anyway, as always, I will see you all in my next video. See you around.